distributor. Supplier and distributor are two entities that play a vital role in the supply chain, which plays an important role in marketing. But there lies some difference between supplier and distributor when it comes to the purpose they serve on the value chain and logistics. Both supplier and distributor can be the same or be different. Usually it's different as the function each serve is different, and it's usually wise to hand it over to the specialists. The key difference between supplier and distributor is that supplier is the provider of the product or service, which can be traced back to the provider, whereas distributor is any organization that purchases products from a supplier on a contract basis, warehouses them and then resells them to retailers. However, neither the supplier nor the distributor can operate in isolation. Both need to work together to achieve their objective and to make the products available to customers. Supplier and distributor are part of an interconnected supply chain. The role of a supplier and a distributor is highly misunderstood and leads to a lot of confusions. I am going to look at the two terms in detail and thereby elucidate the differences between supplier and distributor. Now, first of all, who is supplier? A supplier is one who supplies the products or services. It can be the manufacturer or converters or importers. The source which can be easily traced to the product is usually the supplier, but it may not be manufactured all times. For example, iPhone's supplier is Apple Inc., but the manufacturer is an unknown entity in China. Supplier is a vital part of supply chain mechanism for any organization. A supplier can also be a business-to-business entity, as they can provide the inputs for manufacturing to a producer. So the supplier can be defined as providers of any product and the traceable source of such products or service. A supplier can have direct interaction with customers. This is what happens mostly in cases of business-to-business products and industrial supplies. For example, wind turbines are directly supplied by the supplier to the customers. Intermediaries are not present in such business. Now, who is distributor? A distributor is an intermediary who resells the product acquired from a supplier. Mostly distributors are appointed for business to customer markets where large volumes are transacted. 1/3 of the product price can be attributed to the distributors, and distributor warehouse the products, advertise among retailers and provide cash advances to suppliers. Due to this factor, the supplier provides a considerable discount to the distributor. The supplier and distributor enter into a contract and returns are not accepted by the supplier if product gets expired. So a distributor can be defined as an organization that purchases products from the supplier on a contract basis, warehouse them and then resell them to retailers. Distributor does not directly approach end users as they promote the product among retailers. Distributor is a highly influential party in the supply chain due to the cash resources and their specialized distribution skills. They can be a competitive advantage for supplier at times. Distributors are widely used in fast-moving consumer goods due to complex nature of distribution channels and large volumes. Now, what is the difference between a supplier and a distributor? First of all, definition. Supplier is the provider of a product or service which can be traced back to the provider, whereas distributor is the organization that purchases products from a supplier on a contract basis, warehouses them and then resells them to retailers. What are the characteristics of supplier and distributor? Mainly the function. A supplier can be a manufacturer, converter, commodity merchant or an importer, whereas a distributor is the reseller, intermediary for products derived from a supplier. Now, what is the nature of business? For supplier, Supplier is an individual or an organization which supplies product to the distributor. Supplier is the sole authority for a product or service, whereas distributor can be an individual or an organization which resells the product to retailers. Now, what are the tangibility? Supplier can provide service along with products, whereas distributors can only provide products as service cannot be separated from service provided. So thank you.